going on, YouTube? It is Chris again here today. As I talked about the other day, I am going to do a quick boat tour video of my little tiny boat here and show you guys how I got it set up, what I've done to it, and maybe give you guys some ideas of your own to go out and build your own boat if you're like me and you currently don't have the budget to go buy a $60,000 bass boat. So with that said, we're going to get into the tour while we've got a break in the weather, because as usual it's pissing to rain here in Kentucky. If you live anywhere in the southeast, it's been wet here the last couple of days. I think between yesterday and today, we got 3 to 4 inches of rain where I live at, so it's been crazy. And with that said, I will be getting back out Friday. Zach and I are going to hit the lake early Friday morning to make you guys another video. We're going to be heading to Cedar Creek Lake, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The water's probably going to be high and dirty, so I'm not expecting a good bite, but we'll see. You never know. But with that said, let's get into this boat tour. So we're going to get right into this. We're going to start here on the front of the boat. What I've got here, this is a Motor Guide X3 trolling motor. This is a 12 volt 45 pound trolling motor. I put this on the boat last year because I had a Tour 743, I think. It was a 45 46 pound trolling motor, and the brushes went out in the motor went bad, so I ended up having to get this one. This is actually a refurbished unit. I got it offline and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that website, but it's got the 45-inch shaft. It suits this little boat well, except for on windy days, as you saw in the last video. If the wind gets really bad, you have to kind of put it all the way up on high, and it will hold the boat, but it struggles. So if you're looking at a trolling motor, I will tell you, take the professional's advice, overpower your trolling motor. You know, if you can afford it, get the biggest trolling motor you can afford, and trust me, you'll thank me later on that. Also up here on the front, we've got, I just added this this past spring. I had a Hook 3 graph on the front that just had the down imaging and the 2D imaging on it, and I was on eBay one day and found this little jewel, and I hate to say it, but I don't think the guy knew what he had. This is the Hook 2 5-inch, and it has the 2D, the down scan, and the side scan, and of course it has the triple shot transducer. Now, this being the 12 volt trolling motor, of course it's got the shorter shaft, so I had to make me a bracket to house the transducer on. Yes, I know the transducer's exposed, so I really have to pay attention when I get close to the bank or in shallow water so I don't drag this off. But that was the only way I could get it to fit. That was the only place I had to mount it. But anyway, it's worked out really well for me so far. Also, back last summer, it was last fall, right before regionals at K-Run, you'll remember if you've been following the channel, I added this recessed trolling motor tray, and this thing is a godsend. I'll just tell you, it will save your back. I was kind of on the fence about these things till I actually bought one, but I'm telling you, your back will thank you for it. It just makes a world of difference. It makes moving around on the deck so much easier. They're well worth the 80 to 100 bucks you're going to spend on these. So if you can afford one and get one, I recommend that too. Alright, now if you followed my Instagram or say my Facebook or Fishbrain accounts for any length of time, you'll know that 2 years ago I decked this boat out. I actually built this deck and all the compartments, and I will try to throw a few pictures up if I can go back and find them. I'll throw some of the pictures up on this video just to kind of give you a rough idea of the steps I went through. But I did all this deck myself. This boat was originally a crappie boat, and it did not have a deck in it. It was originally just this floor down here, just at the bottom. So I got tired of kind of not having enough storage and kicking stuff around and tripping over stuff, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. This, like I said, this is a 15-foot boat. It's a Lancer. It's an 87 model, so the boat's 31 and a half, 32 years old. So it is an old boat. All right, continuing on with the front of the boat. One thing I did, or I wanted to make sure of when I was decking this boat out and building this, is to, of course, make sure I had enough storage. So starting with the first storage compartment is right up here under the trolling motor foot tray. This is where I keep my rain jacket or rain suit and my weigh bag. As you can see, all that stuff's right there. And then you have the access panel to the trolling motor mountain bolts, like the bow hook bolts, the wires to the bow lights and all that stuff, navigation lights, whatever. You can get to that through that access panel. And now none of these compartments are what you would say completely waterproof, because there's no lip on these. But I did make these where they would drain. They stay fairly dry, you know, for what they are. So it works out pretty well. It hasn't really let me down yet. And then let's see, we'll do the left side here. Here, this box, the way I've got it set up, I've got 5 3700 boxes here, and it's got everything right now. It's got creature baits, crawls, flukes, swim baits, A-rigs. And then I've already got scrounger heads in here from some ledge fishing and stuff, swim jigs, hooks, jigs, weights, you know, terminal tackle, and all that good stuff. I tried to make this where I could have everything I could possibly need for any possible thing in the boat. And in this compartment, I've got all of most of my soft plastics, like my drop shots, my Senkos, my big worms and stuff like that. I got all my binders and stuff in here. You can see I've got quite a bit of storage. This is my big worms for like my old monster, like my 10-inch worms and bigger. And then this was my binder for my stick baits, for my Senkos and all that stuff. And then there's my drop shot and shaky head bag. And then my Ned rig bag, which I'm going to end up swapping this out and getting one of the Z-Man kits, binder kits, because one thing about the Z-Man baits is, you know, if they're not in the original package, yeah, they tend not to do very well. Then of course I got just miscellaneous baits and stuff in here, and Kitex, Christy crawls, Rage crawls, extra line, scent. Everybody knows I love to use scent on my bait. And then I just got a bag of random baits. Yes, there's Googan baits in there. I know I've been pretty critical of them, but the one bait they make that I do like, that works pretty well, that I've caught fish on, is the Bandito bug. I can't talk. But anyway, and I just got 2 new bags of them today. And also, you'll see I made my own little tool rack there. I've got my pliers, my regular pliers, my long nose pliers. Then I got split ring pliers, scissors, clippers, hook sharpener, my wacky rig tool that has fallen out. So all that stuff's right there in easy reach. Then on this side, we have the other compartment, and right now it's not completely full. Usually I've got it jam-packed. But it's the same as the other one. It can hold up to 5 3700 boxes, and then 5 3600 boxes. But right now I've got my spinnerbait box in here, then like jerk baits, crank baits, some top water because it's getting that time of year, more crankbaits, and then some chatterbaits there. And as I said earlier, this boat was originally a crappie boat, so it has the front live well. It's not a big live well. I don't know, I'm guessing this is a 10 or 12 gallon maybe, but it will amazingly hold pretty big fish. If you remember my video back in February where I caught the 5-pounder, it fit in here just fine. She had room to turn, and it actually kind of shocked me. And when I done that, I got my coil tags there if I need them. Which normally, the way I fish, I don't need them. And then I made my own pump out and my own aerator and all that good stuff. because naturally it didn't have one. And then of course it's got a drain plug in it. And then all my little stickers. And one thing I will tell you guys, Tiny Boat Nation, Mike Lopez, I think he's from Arizona maybe. He started Tiny Boat Nation some years ago. He specifically builds smaller boats, decks them out, and makes them functional and fantastic. And that is where I got the ideas for all this stuff and the inspiration to do it. So if you want to go check out their channel, it's Tiny Boat Nation. He's also got a Facebook page and a Instagram account. Moving back to the console, you got, well, the seating area. You've got the 2 seats. I just replaced these seats last year. Under the bench seat, you've also got the storage. And this is where we keep life jackets, a paddle in case we need it, toolbox. It's got the extra plugs and tools and stuff in it, fire extinguisher, extra rope, all that good stuff. And then moving on to the console, it's a little snug for me. I'm a 6'3". It's a little snug now. It does the trick for me. I mean, it works. But you know, of course, you got your steering wheel. This boat, originally when I got it, did not have the kill switch. I had to have that wired up because if you fish tournaments, and technically, legally, I think if you're going to be on the water, you had to have one of these lanyard kill switches. And originally, yes, this boat had tilt and trim with the original motor, which it does not have anymore, so now it is only the manual. Boo-hoo for me, because it kind of sucks. Then of course there's all your controls for your live well, your aerator, lights, blah blah blah. You know, you get the gist of it. And then here we have the Hook 7. This is the I think this was the first gen Hook series, and it has the 2D and the downscan imaging with all the lake maps. It's got the Navionics chip in it, which I need to get off my lazy button update. But it works pretty well. I wished it had the side imaging here along with up there, but you know, hindsight 2020, it is what it is. Then of course you got your engine control right here, and I also up here added, I added this year before last, before tournament season started back at, because when I first done this deck, this box was not here. So I went back and added it in. It's kind of like a little day box type deal. I've got, you know, a spotlight in there in case I need it in the mornings. I've got this is my screw it, I'll deal with it later box. I kind of throw just random baits and stuff in there. And then I've got some garlic pins and dye and all that good stuff. Some super glue. Nails if I need weights. What the heck? It's coming out of my net, and then I have my net there. And then I've got a box here. It's got the sunscreen, extra sunglasses, gloves, dude wipes, or not dude wipes. They're I'm sorry, they're Fish Funk wipes, and all that good stuff. I'm gonna have to hurry up and move this along. It's starting to sprinkle rain again. But over here, I added this little lod. I can't even talk. I didn't get much sleep last night. I had to get up early this morning. But I got a little rod locker here. Now this little rod locker, and the one thing I do regret when I done this is not using big enough tubes. I should have got the 1.5-inch tubes or 2-inch tubes, and I only got the 1-inch. But now this will hold 7-inch casting rods. Now if you put spinning rods in it, it'll hold like a 6.8, 6.6, 6.9. But it'll only hold 2 or 3 of them just because of the way the rods lay in it. Moving on to the back of the boat, we got more compartments. Of course, we've got the, I purposely moved these batteries up a little bit to kind of balance out the weight on the boat. But we've got our our trolling battery that's also running our one of our graphs on the front, and then you got your cranking battery, and it's also running the unit at the console. You got your Genius 2-bank charger, And then there's your cord, of course, to plug that in with. And then I also have here, it's made like this is all insulated. It's like a little insulated cooler. It'll hold quite a bit of stuff, actually. It does real well. And that way I don't have to put a cooler up in the front. And then here in this compartment, which this whole compartment back here is open, I just put lids on it to access each side. Of course, here's the gas can, gas jug, gas tank, whatever you choose to call it. This has got the 6-gallon tank on it. It does pretty well. I mean, I could put a bigger one on it, but it's going to be adding more weight to the boat. If I ever feel like I need the extra gas, I can put a little extra can on the other side and be just fine. And then I also have here a little access panel that allows me access to all the pumps and the plug and all that stuff pretty easily. And it just pops in and out. It just stays in there, and it sits in there really tight, and I don't have to worry about it popping out. On the other side here, it's roughly the same thing. You got a little bit bigger compartment here. It's currently empty. Usually I put the screen covers for the graphs in here of the daytime. If I've got an extra shirt on or whatever, I'll throw it in here if I don't need it. And then, like I said, you just got an extra compartment here. I've got a little tray screwed in back here, screwed in the supports. I've got like a solar charger, jumper cables, extra trolling motor prop, extra plugs. You know, you never know when you might need a plug. I still got Cheez-Its in here from where Nicholas was in the boat. And then finally moving on to the back, like I said, this is not the original motor. This boat, it originally had a 50 horse motor on it with tilt and trim. The guy I bought this boat off of said the motor had blown up, so him and his father put this little guy on here. It pushes the boat pretty well with just me on it, with, you know, like what they call a full tournament load. It'll go about 23 miles an hour, which is plenty fast enough. It's not as fast as a $60,000 bass boat, but it'll get you where you need to go. Would I like to have a bigger motor on it? Yeah. Am I going to spend the money on one? Probably not. Because my plan is within the next year, I do plan on getting a bigger boat. But we all know how plans can change. They can fall through, etc., etc. We'll see what happens. But the plan right now is sometime next year. Not necessarily a new boat, a new to me boat, but not a brand new one. Unless it works out that way. But I plan on getting a bigger boat, at least maybe an 18 or 19 foot boat. And definitely one thing I want to do to it is, like I said, you know, get a bigger, better trolling motor and possibly get power poles. You know, fishing in the wind. I do a lot of shallow water fishing, and fishing in the wind and stuff, they're just a must-have. I mean, it's really changed the game, shallow water fishing. And if I'm going to go in on a boat, I'm going to get what I want. So, and not regret later not getting what I want. But that's pretty much it. That pretty much wraps it up. Like I said, I'm going to try to throw some pictures up in this video of when I was working on the boat and how I laid it out, and maybe give you guys some ideas. And like I said, if you're thinking about doing something like this with a small, as they say, tiny boat, I encourage you to go check out Tiny Boat Nation, because they've got all kinds of great, fantastic ideas. There's a lot of good people on there that don't care to help you out and point you in the right direction. Guys, it is fixing to start raining again. It's actually already raining again, so I'm going to have to cut this video off. But that's my little boat. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've gotten some ideas. If you liked it, hit those like and subscribe button. Feel free to drop a comment below. If you got any questions or if you need anything, let me know. I don't care to answer your questions. But as always, as I said, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Share the videos. Get the word out. We want to try to get to 500 subscribers, because if we do, I'm going to be giving away a Revo Reel. It's going to be a Revo S or X. I don't know which one yet. So we need to get that subscriber count up. And stay tuned next week or next time for our Cedar Creek Lake video. Hopefully we'll be able to catch some fish, but with all this rain, it's going to be tough. So until next time, guys, till I see you again, keep casting.